You have to be a subscriber for at least 2 days to chat. And we're going to have to do that for a while. I'm just going to keep adding days. So, welcome everyone. And if you click, oh, thank you, Aubrey. I agree with that. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Narcos. So, there are a lot of things I want to discuss. This is not going to be a long live because I still have candles to make. But I think yesterday kind of got misconstrued, and we need to discuss a couple of things. Hey, Debbie. And we need to discuss a couple of things because I think things got taken out of context and I want to straighten it out. And I think aggravation, frustration, hey, cats, frustration kind of, it kind of made me come out and stuff that it shouldn't have come out the way it came out. And I think a lot of people, what it was coming through my own mind wasn't how it came across to you guys. So, first, I want to start by saying, whoop, hold on. All right. First, I want to start by saying, mods, delete anyone that is an asshole. I'm not looking at chat because then I won't be able to say everything I want to say. If you're, all right, let me start with, if you're mad at me, that's fine. You're allowed to be mad at me. You want to unsub on Patreon, whatever. I'm totally okay with that. But here's what I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with people doing the exact same thing that they're crying about how wrong it is for me to do it. The hate that has been left, threatening to contact all Facebook members, the hate, contact Facebook friends, contact, destroying my business. That's the exact same thing. So you're sitting here preaching how wrong it was what I did, but you're okay with someone going real life. Stop the fucking stupidity. Like, seriously, because you can't say, oh my God, it's so bad what she did. And then you're perfectly okay with someone destroying my business or destroying my life or whatever. Then you're just a fucking hypocrite. So anyone that thumbs up these comments or threatens these comments, take a good look in a mirror because you're no fucking better than the people you're trying to say are so bad. So that's first thing I want to say. So now let's get into it. Haters, I'm not going anywhere. I know you want me to, I'm dead, I'm this, I'm that, my channel's dead. Trust and believe I will recover from anything that happens to me. I am a survivor. If I lost 10, I'll gain 20. If I lose 30, I'll gain 60. If I, go down to 10, well, I'll come back up to 30. That is who I am. And, people are free to unsubscribe. People are free to leave. I'm not going anywhere. Things are only going to get better on my channel. Things are, I started this other channel for uploads and stuff. And thank you so much for everyone who has reached out with support, people that haven't left, people that understand, or people that are just waiting for a real explanation. So now that we got all that out of the way, some of the things that got twisted yesterday, it sounded like I was making excuses, and I really want to straighten that out. And this is not for my haters. This is for my supporters. There are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that will eventually everyone's gonna know about. Everyone is gonna see how this all played out and everything. Right now, I'm not there at sharing everything, so I'm still putting everything together. But that doesn't excuse what I did a couple of years ago. And I don't wanna say that I don't want it to come across like, "Oh, it was a couple of years ago, so it doesn't matter." No. And I think that's how it came across yesterday, and I do not mean for it to come out that way. The only reason I kept stating that is because I know I've changed in the last couple of years. I know that I'm a different person than I was 2, 3 years ago. So in my mind, even though some of you guys may not see it, in my mind, okay, well, I was a different person then. So don't hold me accountable. That's where my head was at yesterday. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but that's where my head was at. So my head was at, oh my God, how are you going to hold me accountable if somebody did 3 fucking years ago? Who gives a shit? Because in my mind, I was a different person. I mean, even going through cancer made me a different person. But this was even before that. So the way I see it in my mind isn't always the way it comes across to you guys. So again, I state, I am not making any excuse for what I did. What I did was 100% wrong. There is no excuse for it. There is no justifying it. There is no nothing. What I did was 100% wrong. And there's not even a but after that. Like, that is wrong. And again, in my mind, at that time, I felt I was justified. Why did I feel I was justified? I believe I was on the verge of a nervous fucking breakdown. So many, and again, I'm not saying I was right, but I'm saying where my head was at a couple of years ago. Every single do-gooder in this community could not handle someone coming after them for a week or 2 weeks. We've seen Brittany J get CPS called on them. We've seen other people get CPS called on them. We've seen SWAT calls. It's so much stuff. And this is from someone talking about them for like a week. So all these people that want to condemn me literally can't handle someone coming after them every single day for a year. At that point, it was a year. And this was an ex-friend. So, and again, I'm just telling you guys where my mind was at back then. And I just wanted it to stop. I didn't understand why she couldn't stop. I didn't understand why she was attacking every aspect of my life. And I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. We tried talking to attorneys, we looked up laws, we tried other avenues before getting to that point. When I say we, it was not just me, it was a few of us that we tried everything. Alabama doesn't have the laws that other states have. There was nothing we can do. And I even had financial backing for an attorney because people were just fed up. Nobody could fucking handle it anymore. So we tried striking, nothing worked. And I felt like I was at my wit's end. I know everybody thinks, nobody else has mental health problems, but I was literally on the verge of a nervous fucking breakdown. There was so much shit going on. You had the CPS calls to me a year prior. You had my personal life going on. You had my kids, just so much stuff. And then I have this woman who was an ex-friend talking about me 24 fucking 7. And I was literally on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I could not handle it anymore, and I did not know what to do. Ignoring her didn't work. Talking about her didn't work. Nothing worked. And my back was against the wall. It was either I have a fucking nervous breakdown or I make it stop. And I did what I could to make it stop. Again, once she came back and it didn't stop, I what was I gonna do? That's when I said, "Let me just ignore her. I don't know what else to do. I'm just gonna fucking ignore her." And that's when I started to change. That's when I started to realize and really reflect on, all right, well, that wasn't the right thing to do, nor did it work. We already tried every other option. So now I'm just going to have to live with it and deal with it and totally ignore it. But again, I don't want anyone to think that I was deflecting or that I was trying to say that it didn't matter, because it absolutely matters. I am honestly and sincerely sorry to her husband and her son for putting them through the CPS call, and I mean that sincerely. What I said on that CPS call, I honestly do not remember. But was it wrong? 100%. And there's no ifs, ands, buts, maybes about it, especially since my own kids went through it. And, I don't really remember, but I know I was feeling at the time when I was having this nervous breakdown, like, I was really feeling at the time that I want her to feel the same fucking pain that I'm feeling, maybe that'll make her stop. And again, I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not making an excuse. I'm just telling you guys where my head was at. And unfortunately, people don't realize if you put on a certain persona on YouTube, you're a badass, you're this, you're that, you have no feelings, you have no empathy, whatever the situation. So people think that they can't affect you. Trust and believe people can affect you. Trust and believe even the hardest badasses have emotions. Even the hardest badasses can only take so much. Tommy Soto, whatever his name was, I forgot his name, but you guys know who I mean. Trust and believe. He's had breakdowns. He's needed mental help for constantly being attacked over and over and over and over and over. It, Joe Rogan, anyone, any famous star in the press, just because they act a certain way or you see a certain way doesn't mean that you're not affecting their mental health. It doesn't mean that you're not affecting their daily life. And when you constantly attack someone, you can't you can't always know how they're going to react, because you don't know what day they're going to have, what kind of day they're going to have. I mean, people get fired from a job and fucking end up killing the whole job. You just never know. You never know how someone's going to take something, what's going to make them snap. And I think that day, and again, it was a while ago, so I don't remember every detail. It's not like it was yesterday and I remember everything vividly. I don't. But I do remember that my head was like just overwhelmed, I guess. And again, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just explaining where my head was at. And I'm explaining how things ended up the way they did. And those that don't want to forgive me, I'm okay with it. I really truly am. But sending hate is no better than the initial call to begin with. Your logic makes absolutely no sense. And like video after video after video, at like one person doesn't do enough videos. I mean, seriously, you need 13 creators all talking about the exact fucking same thing, spreading the exact same fucking hate. You're no better. If you're spreading hate, you're no fucking better. You're doing the exact same thing. So save the moral fucking high ground for somewhere else. So I just want to point that out. Um, and again, I'll state it again. There is absolutely zero, and I mean zero excuse for what I did. No